video case study of the work that Envative did with your company, and I'm going to run down just a few questions to kind of review the project and get your insights. So I wonder if we could start. If you could just tell me a little bit about yourself, your career, how it started, and your kind of your trajectory.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I'm happy to do it, Craig. So I'm a physical therapist, practicing physical therapist, and have been for about 25 years. And about 8 years ago, my business partner and I at the time, who's also a physical therapist, came up with an idea that we had to design a compensation structure software system that we felt was very much needed in the rehab industry. So it's something that we had modeled on our own in our own company and had some results with it, but it obviously was not something that what we had built was not something that was scalable. So we knew we needed to package it in such a way that it was scalable. And so that's how we originally reached out to your team and why we reached out to your team.
Cool. So did you take on that role as kind of the technical advocate when you started the first, I would say the prototype or the beta of the system that we ended up ultimately building?
I did, yeah. We met with the team at Envative. I believe this is about 8 years ago when we started.
Yeah.
It once a month, every month for, honestly, I think it was about 18 months. And what we did each month is I would essentially bring some ideas to the table just that I had in my head about how the software might work. Talked it through with the team. They would go back and build some things. The next month we would come back. They would show us what we had built or what they had built, and we would either say, yep, that's what we had envisioned and how it would work, or actually we envisioned it to be something different. And that's the process that we followed for about 18 months until we got to the end of that period of time, and then we actually had something that the industry could utilize.
Let's stick with that for a little bit. So that's the agile process that we use. What was your experience with working with Envative and the team and our staff, working with your staff, using that process for development, and maybe how it affected people that weren't used to software engineering or the process of software engineering?
Yeah, well, I'm not used to software engineering, so I can speak to that. This was my
You
first.
did great though. So
Well, thank you. I mean, I had no idea how this process worked, and I would say that the team at Envative was very sensitive to that. My business partner did not either. So we would come to this meeting, and we did not know what to expect. They were very sensitive to that. They did not talk down to us. There was not a lot of technical jargon that we couldn't understand. So in that respect, it was a great process and much more seamless than I anticipated.
oh, good. I appreciate hearing that. So let's get to like the ROI. Did you achieve the results that you wanted from this project? And were you able to decipher any measurable impact to what you were doing either manually or at the alpha, beta stage versus a viable product?
I mean, I think the easiest way to answer that, Craig, is that and this is the truth, with the help of Envative, we created a category that previously did not exist. So the answer is a resounding yes. The reason we went down this road in the first place is we looked for something on the market that we could buy that did what we wanted to do, and there wasn't anything. So we thought, well, let's try to build it. And so we partnered with the team at Envative to do that. So the short answer, yes. If we fast forward to today, we have practices in 37 states right now that are using the system that Envative built for us, and with some very consistent markers of success.
That's awesome. Was there anything that drove the decision to choose Envative over a different engineering firm? Was there anything that we said or did that stood out and helping you in your decision? Or are you just like, I hope this is the right one?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I mean, it was a long time ago. I know we looked at. I take that back. I take that back. We actually did meet with an individual who had very limited programming knowledge and capabilities. We scribbled some things on a napkin while we were sitting across the table from him at a local restaurant. And after having a conversation with him, he essentially said, A, I think this is a fantastic idea. I think you guys have got something here. B, I'm not the person to build it. However, I know who can. And he referred us to Envative. And that's how we met you.
That's great. So the last question, and I know we're both on the call, so this could be an awkward question, but would you recommend Envative to anybody that's listening or watching this video case study?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, you know, we have a very honest relationship, and so I wouldn't, candy coat or sugarcoat this. The answer is definitely yes, I would. And for one primary reason, and that is we have had the same lead programmer for over 6 years.
Yep.
So the guy that we work with, he knows inside and out what has been built. Not that he doesn't bring in other team members. Obviously, there are other folks involved on a regular basis. The consistency of the relationship, we've been meeting with this individual and his team every month for over 6 years. And so for that reason alone, and I would say also initially, we were working with a different lead programmer for about a year, and then that individual passed the baton to the one that we have now. That process was also seamless. So not that it's an issue of not being able to ever transition from one programmer to another, but we have had experience with the transition. It's great. And we've had experience of longevity with one lead programmer, which has also been great. So for that reason, yes. The other reason is what we wanted to build, to our knowledge, no one has ever built. And Envative had the creativity of mindset to be able and willing to build something that nobody had ever built. It's not like we wanted to just build a better mousetrap. What we were building, nobody had ever built before. So it required a degree of creativity on their part to be willing to walk down this road with us. And they were willing to do that. And obviously the results speak for themselves.
Well, I did a quick Google too on the clinical, compensation management, and you come up first all the time. So it's like it really is cool, and I like seeing that, and I appreciate the response. I don't really have anything else. This was great. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I got my 15 minutes or so. Thanks a lot, Jason, and I will talk to you soon. I do appreciate this. I think this is I checked is we're heading into our 8th year working together, which I think is really cool.
Yep, I agree.